now that rapper G Dep is a free man, he says he wants to work with Diddy again despite the allegations against him.
You know, why not? I mean, you already in there. And did he reach out to you while you was in prison?
Well, he reached out to me. He reached out to me, you know, inadvertently. You know what I'm saying? Like videos and, you know what I mean? A couple of interviews. I heard him shout me out. You know what I mean? Yo, shout out to Dep. Hold your head.
Not G Dep showing loyalty to Diddy after all these years when Diddy never even visited him once in prison. G Dep spent 13 long years locked up. And what did Diddy do? Just a couple of shout outs and interviews, but no real support while G Dep was behind bars. But now suddenly G Dep is out and going above and beyond to defend Diddy against all these disturbing allegations coming his way. So why is G Dep writing for Diddy now? What does Diddy have on G Dep? I mean, is it a freak off tape? Some other skeleton in the closet we don't know about that could ruin his reputation? At this point, it's giving blackmail, and anyone defending Diddy needs to be checked too. For G Dep to come out of prison and instantly start defending Diddy like this, especially with all the sick accusations of Diddy doing unspeakable things to victims as young as 9, it's a huge red flag. So could it be that Diddy's got something big hanging over G Dep's head? Why is G Dep jumping into the ring to defend Diddy now? Let's dive in and break it all down.
G Dep says he knows the allegations in federal investigation are serious, but he says there's what people say and what is proven in court.
People should, you know, give people, you know, the benefit of the doubt. If somebody just saying that you did something, you know, people could say anything.
Travell Gerald Coleman, better known by his rap name G Dep, was born on November 19, 1974, and raised in Harlem, New York. His early life was shaped growing up in the James Weldon Johnson housing projects under the care of his grandmother. G Dep's career first gained some traction in the mid-90s when he dropped 2 singles under Tape Kings in 96 and 97. But everything changed for him when he caught the attention of Sean Diddy Combs in 1998. That year, G Dep signed a $350,000 5-album deal with Bad Boy Records, setting him up to be one of the label's next big stars. By the next year, G Dep made a splash when he appeared on 2 tracks from Black Rob's debut album, Life Story. Then in 2001, G Dep dropped his own debut solo project, Child of the Ghetto. When the album didn't exactly burn up the charts, peaking at number 106 on the Billboard 200, it still made waves in the hip-hop scene. The lead single, Special Delivery, was a banger that peaked at number 59 on the Hot R&B/hip-hop songs and climbed to number 3 on the Hot Rap Singles chart. But just when it looked like G Dep was on the verge of blowing up, things took a dark turn. He had a long-standing battle with PCP addiction, and it spiraled out of control. After the release of Child of the Ghetto, Diddy dropped him from Bad Boy, and G Dep's legal troubles started piling up. From substance-related offenses to burglary and grand larceny, G Dep couldn't stay out of trouble, and between 2003 and 2010, he was arrested more than 25 times. And it all came crashing down for G Dep on December 15, 2010, when he walked into the 25th precinct and confessed to a from 1993, a cold case no one even linked to him. Now, this wasn't the first time he tried to come clean. G Dep had already tried to confess twice before, but police brushed him off, thinking he was incoherent and high at the time. The crime in question happened on October 19, 1993, when a man named John Henkel was shot in the chest during an attempted robbery outside the James Weldon Johnson houses, not far from G Dep's childhood home in Harlem. According to G Dep, he ambushed Henkel in a robbery gone wrong, shot him, and fled the scene, later tossing the into the East River. G Dep also claimed he didn't even know his victim had died until he came forward. He thought Henkel had survived, but once he found out the man was dead, the guilt weighed heavily on his conscience for years. G Dep's confession matched up with all the details of the case, and he was charged with. He later explained in an interview why he finally confessed, that the guilt was too much to bear and that he was just trying to get things right between himself and God. But despite coming forward on his own, G Dep still pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder in court in January 2011. But the confession didn't help him avoid a conviction. On April 17, 2012, G Dep was found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 15 years to life. He ended up serving 13 years at Fishkill Correctional Facility, and in December 2023, his sentence was commuted by Governor Kathy Hochul, making him eligible for parole. And on April 4, 2024, G Dep was officially released from prison. But here's where it gets wild. Literally, the first thing G Dep did after his release was go on an interview spree and defend Diddy and all the allegations he's facing. In fact, just days after his release, G Dep did an interview with Fox News and talked about how he never saw Diddy do any of the questionable things he's been accused of, and said people shouldn't be so quick to believe all the allegations.
You could tell why he was, you know, the status he was, you know what I mean? Like, to see him in the studio at work was amazing. And I'm like, when did that happen? Like, you know what I mean? We were in the studio, like, for months on end with each other, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, So I don't know where this is coming from. People should, give people, the benefit of the doubt. If somebody just saying that you did something, people could say anything.
But how would you see him do any of these things if you're in prison, my guy? No shade. Yes, people can say anything, but Homeland Security doesn't raid your house on hearsay. And you don't get charged with the federal crime of extradition and be denied bail 3 times just because some people said something. So what's the deal with G Dep defending Diddy as soon as he got out of prison? He spent 13 years locked up, and the very first thing he does is publicly defend Diddy? Something's off here, especially when G Dep himself said that Diddy didn't even visit him once while he was in prison. What's even more embarrassing is that in the same interview with Fox News, G Dep directly addressed Diddy and begged him to reach out and work with him again.
G Dep says during his incarceration, he wrote nearly 400 songs and is looking for studio space and working with the man he still calls Puff Daddy again.
Got a lot of songs, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for you, so we could get, some type of musical situation going.
Yeah, that's definitely not happening now. But what could happen is that G Dep might get dragged into Diddy's case if he keeps defending him like this. Fans are already side-eyeing G Dep, and they're trying to figure out how he can claim to be a man of God while at the same time he's defending the devil himself. But G Dep kept doubling down, and in early September of this year, just days before Diddy was arrested in NYC, G Dep linked with Diddy in Harlem. They even posed for a picture together that G Dep later shared on his Instagram with the caption, "Praise the Creator. Around. Let's get it." As you can imagine, G Dep's followers had a lot to say about him hanging out with Diddy. And while some warned G Dep that Diddy is just using him because everyone else is too scared to show their support, others wondered if Diddy is holding something over G Dep's head. One fan commented on G Dep's post, "That's fake love. That man ain't give a damn when you was gone." Shaking my head. Someone else said, "Ask him why he tried to play you like you didn't release one of the best projects on Bad Boy ever." And another person wrote, "Uh-oh, you compromised now, G? Unfollow." By the way, another interesting fact, one of the lawyers Diddy hired after his arrest is Anthony Rico. And Rico represented G Dep back in 2012 when Dep confessed to that cold case. And Rico is no stranger to taking on controversial cases. He defended former New York City Councilman Larry Seabrook, who was indicted by the federal government on corruption charges. He served as counsel in the World Trade Bombing conspiracy case and even represented suspects in terrorism cases after September 11. So Anthony Rico is one connection between Diddy and G Dep. But it's still wild to see that the first thing G Dep did after finally getting his freedom back was to defend Diddy so publicly. And you already know how fans are talking about how Diddy probably has a freak-off tape with G Dep's name stashed away somewhere. One fan said, after sliding around in them prison showers for 13 years, G Dep is ready to wreak havoc on an after 12 a.m. freak-off. People are struggling to survive Diddy, and G Dep is over here looking for him? Bro came out of prison like, put me back in the Matrix. And someone else added, damn G Dep, for real? Damn, you didn't learn ish in prison. You want to sell your soul? Damn. But believe it or not, G Dep is still out here defending Diddy despite Diddy facing federal charges, and now also facing disturbing allegations from multiple young victims. In fact, just a few days ago, G Dep took to his Instagram to post this clip from his recent appearance on the Ryan Show FM, where he talked about how people are just trying to assassinate Diddy's character for no reason, and how this all might be one big setup against Diddy.
Do you think that there's maybe a conspiracy going on? Because I read that a lot now online, or some type of bigger attack on this guy's character. They're just trying to bring him down.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to me like that. It does seem like that, like I know it sounds like, conspiring or like conspiracy theory type of stuff, but it seems like that. Like, it's like, or like, it seems like if somebody's like kind of like puppeteering that whole thing, it seems like.
I mean, just the way that there's these orchestrated attacks on people, no matter who it is that gets canceled. It seems that the media can just absolutely tear you down and villainize you. When you go to a court of law, you're innocent before being proven guilty. But now you don't even stand a chance.
But let's be real. Even if someone higher up pulled the plug and decided now was the time for Diddy to pay the piper, that doesn't mean Diddy is innocent. If he wasn't doing all those nefarious things for decades, no one could set him up. So for G Dep to talk all this mess now that Diddy is facing PDF file accusations on top of all the other charges, well, that speaks volumes about G Dep's character. But let me know how you feel about G Dep defending Diddy as soon as he got out of prison. And why do you think he's still doubling down even now that he knows there's zero chance he and Diddy will ever make music together again? Drop your comments below and make sure you stick around for this next video.